A journalist pretended to be a MAGA person, went into some sort of gala soiree, and chatted it up with Trump ally Roger Stone. Roger Stone, being a, I guess, former Trump advisor now, but is still in the MAGA circles, is visually stressful to watch. And I'm not saying to say that because of the way that he looks, but the way that he acts is very off-putting. And he seems sort of to be an unstable person. And what you're going to see here is him talking about how he believes Trump will ensure victory, how they're going to stop that fraud that's not happening, but they pretend like it is, and how they're going to do better at that this time than in 2020. Roger Stone was a big part of crafting the fake elector scheme and all these different things in 2020. And I do want you to focus on the substance because that matters, but also just the mannerisms. What's going on with Roger Stone? And it's interesting when he thinks someone's a fan of him, he'll just open up and he calls for the imprisonment of Bill Barr, Trump's former attorney general.
Hey, so I just wanted to thank you again. I think we have a friend in common. Do you know Josh Standiford? We're working together on the Lion of Judah program with the app. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, okay. Well,
and I should credit before we go further that this is from Lauren Windsor and her team at Undercurrent. The audio. I'm so sorry. It's just, but that's what hidden camera gives us.
That's and so then, the question from there is like, I mean, look, I appreciated your answer earlier tonight about what to do, but the fact of the matter is in 2020, like, we had control and they were able to take it from us. So my question is how, with them in control, how...
We never really had control.
What do you mean?
I was indicted by Donald Trump's Justice Department.
Okay.
Donald Trump never controlled his Justice Department. Bill Barr was a traitorous piece of human garbage. The guy who trafficked cocaine through the bushes into Arkansas.
Bill Barr?
Yeah, read my book.
Oh, okay.
He's a piece of shit. He's a CIA general counsel, and he's a piece of shit. Trump read a law review article, never checked his background, made him attorney general. Once we get back in, he has to go to prison. He has to go to prison. He's a criminal.
Yeah, but how are we going to get back?
Couple things before going further. First, I know it's hard to listen to what's being said because of the song in the background. Street lights. And I want to sing along with it. Setting that aside, though, it's weird that someone who's so bad, excuse me, like Roger Stone, would be acting like he's in a Hollywood film and he's a villain. As he's talking and he's sort of all, he's acting like he's a villain. And he is. But he says Bill Barr is a criminal, as anyone who speaks out against Trump is now, and should be put in prison, and will be if Trump wins the White House. And this is what I want you to imagine. Remember what Bill Barr, before January 6th, did for Trump. The whole trying to block the peaceful transfer of power thing was a step too far for Bill Barr, luckily. But before that, Bill Barr did a bunch of things and showed so much loyalty to Trump and disgraced the position of the Attorney General. But then completely subverting democracy was a bridge too far for him. That in Roger Stone's mind is an example of how Trump didn't have any power over the DOJ when he was president last time. So if you thought that was bad, Roger Stone, when we say that Trump learned from his mistakes according to MAGA last time around, people who didn't obey his every order, this is what I'm talking about. Because Roger Stone is saying in a very creepy manner that next time around, Trump best have someone who will do everything he says. Otherwise, I'm going to call him a criminal.
Again, if they're in control right now, we're on the outside.
First of all, it's a state question. It's not a federal question. So it's not who controls the federal government. It controls the state government. They use the Justice Department harass you when you're in office, but this is about an election. We got to fight it out on a state-by-state basis. Look, you got the worst.
But how do we do that? If we couldn't do it the last time, do we have anything?
Very clear, we did nothing in 2020.
Okay.
We did nothing. Zero.
Okay.
Zero. I mean,
well, come on, we did some.
Very, very little.
We filed, what, how many lawsuits did we file?
So again, I just have to pause every so often because I don't like the sound of this audio. It's irritating me. But all of this is very notable. He's saying we did nothing in 2020. Hear me. Hear me now. Quote me later. What's the phrase? Just hear me is the point, okay? Listen. Last time, and before I go any further with that, click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Last time Trump tried in a way that we've never seen before to subvert our constitutional process. I don't know why I'm holding a pen. It just feels like I can be more intense about these points if I am. Subvert our democratic process, subvert our democracy, torch the Constitution in the interest of keeping himself in office. He said, according to this Jack Smith filing, that you got to fight even when you lose. You got to fight to stay in office, is what he told his family members. He admitted that no matter what the result was, no matter what the people actually wanted, he was going to try to stay in office by fraudulently claiming victory and then doing whatever it took. And because enough people who are now deemed by MAGA to be criminals, like Bill Barr, like Mike Pence, said, okay, I like all this crazy MAGA stuff, but that's a little too crazy. Trump couldn't successfully stay in office, but he won't have those people next time. And Roger Stone is characterizing the fraudulent scheme of electors that he helped to assemble a crime against our democracy like we've barely seen in the history of our country. The attack on the Capitol prompted by Trump's lies. Mike Pence's life being threatened because of Trump's lies. Local officials being threatened. Local officials being pressured by Trump. All of that in Roger Stone's characterization was nothing. That was nothing. So you can imagine if Trump loses this election, what he will feel is justified if he's listening to people like Roger Stone, which he will be, to try to get into office. Here's more.
So we can get these cases in the moment that they happen. You know what I mean?
yes, I'm clear. I'm not running this campaign. If I was, we'd be doing things differently.
If you were running a campaign, we'd be 20 points ahead, let's face
Well, I don't know
it.
about that, but
Well, 10, okay.
I'd be doing some things differently.
What would you be doing differently, per se?
I think the president's going to do a pretty good job on a number of things. But in 2020, Jared Kushner's a real estate developer. What does he know about this?
Yeah, no shit, right?
I don't care
What was
who
that
you marry.
idiot?
What do you know about this? You know nothing about this.
I can't say, Jared Kushner, I don't know what to make of that.
Doesn't know anything about it. I mean, I wouldn't tell you how to fix a lawnmower. I mean, why would we expect him to know anything about politics? He doesn't know anything about anything.
Well, do we have better now?
Or rich.
Does he have better people around him now?
Much better. Much better.
Well, that's good news. That's good news. But the question is I mean, let me ask you this. I mean, do you think that this idea that, like, you know, is she going to vote? I mean, I think what President Trump did the other day at the Black Journalist Conference thingy was totally, like, by design. And I think it was really smart,
He
actually.
needed to be said.
Right? But, like, but gotta go.
Okay, I'll stop it there. But he says that Trump questioning the racial identity of Vice President Harris, quote unquote, needed to be said. What a wacky guy. I know he's not currently running the campaign, as he said, but when he says better people are around Trump now than before, he means people more like him. You gotta think about this. Anything that you felt was bad about Trump, his mismanagement of the pandemic, his attack on our democracy, it's gonna be so much worse when now, as he says, he knows people better. He knows better who will do exactly what he wants, who won't, who will restrict him, who won't. And so what we're going to see if he were to win is an unrestrained, unleashed orange man. And that's not what we should want. It's interesting, by the way, that so much of the argument in favor of Trump is economic. Our economy is collapsing. It's terrible. That's why we need Trump back. And it's even funnier because that's not true. Watching Fox News hosts try to bend truth.
Thank you, Gerard. Here we go, folks. It is a record close for the Dow Jones Industrials and another record close for the S&P 500. Green on the screen today, driven by the bank earnings. But as you know, next week, big news with earnings as well. So we'll see you.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. President Trump on the campaign trail today. He's in Colorado, Nevada, then heading out to Arizona, slamming Biden-Harris on the economy and the border crisis. We're going to talk to Vivek Ramaswamy in just a moment on that and many other things.
It's just such a funny contrast. Because it's Fox Business, they still have to report on the positive metrics. And everything's just breaking records to you, Kudlow. And then Kudlow goes, and Trump's slamming Kamala on the economy. Slamming her how? The record job growth, the low unemployment, the record stock market performance, the strong recovery, better than every other past recovery we've had from an economic recession in every other country on the planet. What is she being slammed on by Trump? Because all the issues that definitely remain are ones that Harris has proposed thoughtful solutions to, Trump has proposed often incoherent, bizarre solutions to, leading even allies of his like Tim Scott to defend him by saying, oh no, he speaks in the abstract. His proposals are abstractions. Well, then what does he believe? It's just a little interesting random clip there for you. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show, become a member. We haven't thought of the terminology, but if you subscribe, you're part of the Beasley Brigade. That's the, free thing on YouTube. If you go a step further and become a member, we're still trying to decide what that makes you within the Beasley Brigade, but it's awesome is the point. If you have an idea, you can let us know. And I'll talk to you in the next video.